Show, and it is an open phone hour. 989-752-6111, the number to call. Callers waiting for us, and we'll get to those in a moment. I just want to bring this up. I pulled this out of the Free Press this morning. The headline is, "Your next car may feature an AI talking mouse, stress monitor, and more." Whatever happened to just the car? You get in, you drive it from point A to point B. Oh, my goodness. We'll get to more of it later on, but we'll get to callers this morning because that's what it's all about. So we'll start with Paul in Saginaw. Good morning, Paul.
Morning, Art. Art, I want to know, when is the governor and her Democrats going to start to order state employees back to the state building because citizens have issues that cannot be resolved over the phone or the snail mail, and it's
hang on a minute, Paul, because
it's frustrating.
Hang on, Paul, because if you need to get a hold of the people who work in your representative's office, they're there.
No, I'm not talking about the state representative or anything.
Yeah, but they're
like
the problem solvers.
I'm talking about the office workers that used to work, the caseworkers in the state of Michigan building. That's what I'm talking about.
I don't know. Where are they now? Are they out and about?
They work remotely. You cannot get a caseworker in the state office building to come to talk to you in the state office building because they're all working remotely. They should be in the state office building so that you can talk to them, show your paperwork, resolve any issues that you have. That'll save an awful lot of time because trying to get a hold of them over the phone takes forever. And then using snail mail, you're just getting in a paper war back and forth with snail mail. Your issues isn't getting resolved. The state office workers should be in the state office building solving the citizens' issues and concerns and problems that they have with the state.
All right. When's she going to do it? I have no idea.
It's the same thing with, when is she going to order a special election for the open seat that we have?
Right after she orders all those workers back to work.
You're absolutely right. That's probably when it'll happen.
That one's the last one you mentioned. That's a political football, and I don't see a resolve.
Right.
So
right, but I don't like this business with these state workers working remotely because, hey, it's a bunch of baloney, you know?
Well,
you
my bigger question is, are they getting the job done? If the answer is no, then they belong back in the office. If they're getting the job done, that's another set of circumstances. But I don't know the answer because I don't have to deal with them. So,
well, I don't think they are because there are issues you cannot resolve over the phone or in snail mail. You need to do it in person, showing your paperwork and this and that.
Gotcha.
And all right.
Take care.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Later. All right. Bye.
And in Saginaw, we find Scott this morning. Morning.
Hey, morning. Morning, Art. I got a few things. I'll start with this. I noticed a lot when I call and I give specific incidences where Democrats have become violent, whether they're deliberately lighting fires and then shooting at the firefighters or dressing in body armor and attacking the police. Usually you'll get a caller that'll call and say, well, Scott forgets about January 6th. Let's look at January 6th. We know that everybody on the Democratic side who is involved in accusing Donald Trump of this has been given a pardon. We know that there's video out there where Democrats had assets working in the crowd, and they were opening up the doors in the Capitol building saying, come on in.
All right, well, hang on. Just so we complete the picture, let us also admit that there were some violent folks in that crowd. And
who were violent folks?
And that there were officers hurt, there were people hurt. And, you know, the majority of the people in that crowd were not violent, I'll grant you that, but there were some that were. We can't ignore that either.
And we can't ignore the fact that Donald Trump also requested that the military be there because he knew something was wrong. But hold on. But the Democrats that were in charge said, hell no, we're not going to protect anything. Now, let's look at Butler real quick. 10 days before Donald Trump's campaign speech over there in Butler, There was credible evidence of a credible threat. It was given to Joe Biden and the head of the Secret Service, and they said, hell no, we're not giving him any more help. As a matter of fact, we're even going to keep people off the roofs so that the shooter gets a clear shot. No,
well, they didn't say it that way. Come on.
That's what happened.
That's what happened, but they didn't say we're going to keep people off the roof so a shooter can have a clear shot. Come on, Scott.
They said it was there was clear evidence that somebody was going to do something, and what did they say? The roofs are too hot, so we're going to keep our people off the roofs.
All right.
Thank God that Trump got a couple snipers there to protect him, because if it would have been up to Joe Biden, this man would have shot again and probably got Trump. Let's look back at 2016 in the war room of Barack insane Obama. He directed his FBI director and his CIA director to bring false evidence against Donald Trump, saying he did, not maybe, but he did collude with Russia.
Yeah, but
so January 6th is out of the picture. They have no room to talk.
Here's the thing. What you're saying is right, but it's old news, Scott, and it isn't going to change. It is old news.
The country's divided because of what these Democrats are doing.
Well,
we're divided because they lie, they plant evidence. When they don't get their way, they burn, they trash, they destroy,
all right,
they
but
shoot,
just
they
understand
murder.
this. In order to be divided, you got to have two sides.
Right.
You can't have one side. You got to have two sides.
And you have the side where Donald Trump did not collude with Russia. Then you have the side where the Democrats framed him, and then people believe this false evidence. That's dividing the country, Art. This is dangerous. But this is all the Democrats have. They can't sit on a debate stage and actually use words. They have to use fire. They have to use guns. They have to use bottles. They can't talk with words anymore, Art. And that's what happened to this Democratic Party. Where are they at? Not one of them's out here calling for the violence to de-escalate, except, again, Fetterman.
All right.
So these people...
Fair enough.
And the other point I wanted to make is when we're talking about the Quran, for you being an educator, I was highly disappointed in the way you handled it, Art.
Well, see, I did it the right way. I looked it up.
Exactly. You looked up one source, and that source was a commentary on the Quran that sided with what you had already believed that the Quran said.
No, actually, you're wrong. See, actually, you're wrong. I looked it up, that one source that I referred to, but I also have some friends who are Muslim, and I went to them and talked to them about the Quran and their interpretation of it. And I trust I trust. Believe me, I trust their interpretation. I've known these people a long time. None of them are violent. None of them want to be violent. None of them are anti-Semitic. So you can take it for what it's worth. You can view it your way. That's fine, Sean. Scott. Sean's next. But I just I had to do my own research, and I came up with my own conclusions. You're welcome to yours, and I'm welcome to mine.
Well, with that, that's fine, but that's like somebody telling you how to fix your car without you actually reading the manual. This is
it's not.
You might get close. You might get close to get your timing
We're
right. gonna
disagree to disagree. That's the way it is.
Well, if you can't go to the source, Art, and read it yourself and comprehend it yourself, then you shouldn't be making decisions on something somebody else is telling you.
Thank you. Well, then I can't make a decision on what you're telling me either. Then you just admitted that, right? Nope, he hung up. Yeah, if I can't make a decision on what somebody else is telling me, I can't make a decision on what Scott's saying. I would take a break, and Sean will be next.
We're proud to make...
Sean.
Good morning, Art. And, yes, this is Sean, not Scott.
Yeah, I was looking ahead.
No worries, my friend. Hey, this should be extremely huge, big news. Well, let's put it this way. I tried to tell you years ago, I've never lied to you, Art. I tried to tell you years ago what was going on with Obama and the Russian collusion, delusion, and all that. I hope they go to jail because they deserve it. They deserve to be charged. This is huge, huge, huge news. I find it amazing that Obama, the FBI, they came to him, they told him, hey, there's absolutely no credible evidence that there's any Russian collusion, and even if they could, they couldn't do it anyway. They don't have the power or the tech. They got nothing. And he said, scrap that, right? Now, this is December 9th, I do believe. So Trump had already been elected, which when you get elected, you get privy to the daily briefs.
Yep.
The very next day, when Trump's supposed to get the brief, they threw that whole thing right out. So Trump couldn't see that, well, look, there's the proof right there. They got rid of it. And then went on to spend tens and tens and tens of millions of dollars chasing something that never was anyway, and then for a year try to coup against our president.
Let me make a prediction.
Those are all truths.
Okay, yeah. Now let me make a prediction based on your truth. And by the way, I agree.
It's not
I'm
my
not.
truth.
I'm not.
Don't
I'm not.
say that. That's
I'm
not my truth. These
well,
are
but
facts.
all right.
The FBI.
Yeah. Well, okay. Based on the facts, I'm agreeing with you, except in one area. They're never going to see a day in jail. That's my speculation.
I've been talking with some people on that, some just friends and things like that, trying to do some research on it. And usually, I would probably agree with you, but this time, and here's the deal: this isn't about Democrat, Republican. This is our country, man. If these people don't pay for what they did, there is no justice in the United States. There isn't any.
Well,
it's gone. Because it doesn't get much worse than this. You got Schiff up there.
He's the lowest. He's the lowest of the low in my world.
Well, exactly. And now this is where I got to agree with Scott. They're trying to divide us. It's not that we are divided. It's that you've got people that are willing to believe anything and do no research whatsoever. And then you've got people that are willing to do research.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
Right?
We've been divided. They're trying to further the divide. But I go back to what I said. All of what you said may be true, and probably is. And the dossier was dirty politics in my world. But nobody, in my opinion, nobody will see a day in jail. That's just my opinion. That's my opinion.
There was Russian collusion.
Yeah, well, so what? What are you going to do about it?
Well, no, I'm not. I'm just telling you the truth.
Well, I understand that, but what are you going to do about it? What I'm saying, Sean, is there's nothing that can be done realistically. I live in a real world, not the ideal world. In my ideal world, everybody goes to jail every time something is done falsely and wrong. That's not the world I live in. It's not the world you live in. And the reality is,
they arrested Trump. They got all the January 6th people that weren't even there. I mean, they were charged and put in jail for years, and they were never even charged with anything.
Well,
so we can do it. And I got a couple more here for you.
Real quick.
Do you know that any city that declares itself a sanctuary city is guilty of insurrection according to the law? And they are not entitled to any federal funding whatsoever.
Yeah, well, I'd love to see that funding pulled, to be honest with you.
And then if they fired Colbert, they'd still be minus $20 million in the hole.
Well, they are. I mean, that was,
$20 million every year. And then you got the WNBA, these chicks, right? So people finally start to watch the WNBA because of Caitlin Clark, just a little bit. Their ratings are going up a little bit, right? And what do? They come out and say, we know we lose tens of millions of dollars, but you need to pay us what you got to pay us on their shirt for the All-Star. Well, they can't even make layups. Well, nobody even is around them at the All-Star game. You just screwed yourself, WNBA, because anybody that was coming to watch you, they're not anymore.
Don't kid yourself. I understand what you're saying and understand why you said it, Sean, but if you don't think they're going to get a following, you watch.
No, they started to. But you can't come up and go, hey, $100 million by Med.
Just you watch. There will be a following, because that's just the way it is. I mean, it's
right, and it'll be a following of absolutely dumb people, just like they believe 64%.
Well, that's your opinion of them. That's your opinion of them. But if you think that they're going to die and go away, forget it.
here's the thing. I wish what they would do for the WNBA, and it would make it great, lower that rim, right? Lower the rim so we can see some dunks and make that court just a little bit smaller like they do for golf and volleyball and stuff like that. Now we got a game, right? Now, hey, that would be exciting. That would be more better, right?
Well,
why don't they do that?
Don't know.
I don't know.
I would not be against that. I understand what you're saying. But the reality is we live in a real world, and in the real world right now, they're not doing it, so you live with what they're doing. You don't have to follow them, but don't kid yourself. A lot of people will.
Well, a lot of people jump off bridges, too. I don't know what to tell you.
Not a lot, but people do. All right, Sean. Have a good one.
All right, have
Take
a good
care.
one, Art.
Bye-bye. Now, listen, all of it is true and all of what we're talking about, but the reality is I live in a real world, not the ideal world. There's no such thing. The ideal world's in our mind. We'd love to see it this way. This ought to happen. Well, in everyday life, that's not the way it works. And we live, and I'm a realist. I live in a real world. I react to the real world. I don't act to the ideal or, what I see as the perfect world. It's a world made up of human beings. By its very nature, we're not perfect. And I can't lose sleep over what's not going to happen. Now, are there things I'd like to see happen? Sure. But I'm a realist. It's the way it is. We're going to take a break, come back. We'll get to Mark when we return.
It could be the best years of
Okay, we're back with you on the Art Lewis Show at 10:38 on this Monday morning. Back to our phones. We have two Marks waiting for us. The first one is in Saginaw. Mark in Saginaw, good morning.
Good morning, Art. How are you, sir?
Doing well.
Hey, the only comment I'll make on I got two. First comment is nobody is above the law. Yeah, right. Watch the individuals that don't get charged.
Yeah.
And then my next topic is, I've worked many, many years in the workforce. I work anywhere from 50 to 60 hours a week. I pay for a lot of social programs, and finally a piece of legislation has come down the pike that says no tax on overtime. I haven't heard anything on that, though, that it's passed. Is it only for federal workers? And is it going to be something at the end of the tax return season?
No, it was part of the big. It was
January.
It was part of the big beautiful bill, and it's no tax on overtime up to $25,000 is what I believe the number is.
It's supposed to be retro from January.
Well, it's for this year. It's for this tax year, so it's for 2025.
So you sit with your tax preparer, and they're going to know how to take your taxes out of your overtime that you've already worked. I mean, I don't know how TurboTax.
Yeah, you'll get it as you'll because when you fill out your form,
mm-hmm.
I would have to believe now there'll be a line item for overtime, and whatever number you put in there goes in against your income as non-taxable, so it won't show up as a taxable item, so it will reduce your tax bill.
So I got to figure out my overtime from 40 hours all year.
Potentially, and you can deduct up to $25,000 from what I understand. Now, I'm not an accountant, not a CPA.
Right.
Make sure you ask the right people, but that's my understanding of it.
Yeah, because I use the free services online, so I just do the step by step, and I just wonder if
it should guide you.
Is all going to be?
Oh yeah, TurboTax, because that's what I use, and TurboTax has always been right up to date. And every time you turn it on to go into it, it updates, so it'll have all the latest.
Yeah, as tax return season comes, it'd be great to have somebody on financially
I'm going to.
explain that.
Yeah, I'm going to because of this new bill. Matter of fact, we might even do it before tax season.
Fair enough. All righty, sir. Take care.
Yep, you too. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Yep. Bye.
And our next Mark is in Sanford. Mark, good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome.
I would like to say, in everything we talk about all morning is about corrupt. It's all corrupt. You're in a world that you believe that it's wrong, but the reality is nothing's going to happen. And when we talk, you listen to our governor who's not doing her thing as far as appointing somebody. The bottom line, and all of your morning people, everybody that's talking about it, we're all talking about the same thing. It's just all corrupt.
Funny thing about that, isn't it? Not funny, but it's true.
Everything we've talked about all morning, every one of those,
Yeah, but that's what see. Let's be realistic about this, Mark. That seems to be what generates conversation. People don't call up and say, "Hey, look, my rep, he did a good thing today. He did his job, or she did her job." They don't want to talk about that.
Right. But why is it we can sit here and have a whole morning full of just corrupt? How come it's not changing? When you talk about our governor who's not doing her thing, and that was last week, and now this week it's all corrupt. It's just corrupt. There's just nobody who's doing anything right. It's just unbelievable.
The reality is, first of all, you're right, but the reality is there's a lot of people doing it right, but they don't make the news. They don't make the conversation.
But nothing changes.
Yeah, you're right about that too. It's the nature of the beast, and we have to learn to live with it, because I have to be honest, I don't see it changing. Not anytime in the near future.
But then you're accepting corruptness.
No, I'm not accepting it. I don't like it, but I'm a realist in terms of what's going to happen.
I get it.
That's the big thing to me, is what's going to happen, and the answer is nothing. It's been going on forever. There's nothing new about this. It's just there's more of it,
maybe news,
and we're more divided.
Yeah, that could be, and that's maybe what I'm seeing. It just seems like there's so much of it.
Well, here's the thing. Remember this. I've used this example. I'm going to use it again. Let's go back to the days of our founding fathers. Thomas Jefferson was accused of being an adulterer. How'd you find out about it back then? Somebody wrote it down on a piece of paper, put it on a horse. The horse took it around. Wherever you lived, the horse arrived. A town crier stood out in the street and read the news to you, or maybe there was a newspaper of some kind you picked up. You heard about it once, and then you got on with your life. Today, if Thomas Jefferson were here and we accused him of being an adulterer, you'd hear it 1,000 times a day for weeks on end. You'd be hit over the head with it. And is there any reason for us to believe why we're in the condition we're in? I don't think so.
I get it, because everything is easier to spread nowadays. So
exactly.
I'm with you, and I understand. But the bottom line is, people who are in our government, intentionally being corrupt, being all the callers you had this morning, and even last week when we're talking about, they're all corrupt.
Well, all right, let me clarify one thing you said, because I have to separate this, all right? Let's talk about the governor not appointing a special election for the 35th district. 270,000 people disenfranchised. I just want to caution you, because corruption is a legal term. That's not corrupt. It's political, but it's not corrupt. She wasn't bribed not to do it. She's not doing it because she's afraid there may be a political outcome she doesn't like. And unfortunately, that's within her prerogative. Now, I don't agree with it. I think she ought to do it. So do a lot of people in her own party, including her lieutenant governor and attorney general. But we just have to be careful of terms, because that's not corruption as we understand corruption. That's a political decision we don't agree with.
I understand what you're saying. And maybe that word is harsh, but that word is exactly what's going on. And I agree with you that we got to watch what we say. And granted, I'm just saying, when somebody knows they're doing it and she knows she's wrong and she still does it, she's either breaking the law or she's unfortunately corrupt.
Here's the difference. She doesn't know she's wrong. She knows she's right. She has the right. I don't agree with it. You don't agree with it. But she has the right as the governor to do what she's doing. It's unfortunate for all of us who don't have representation now. But she's doing what she believes is right for her and her party.
Well,
and you and I don't agree with it. I got that. But we just, you have to separate. What I'm pointing out is there's corruption, which implies a certain illegality, bribery, what have you. And there's political choice, which we may not agree with, but it's a political choice.
Thank you, sir, for having me.
I'm glad you called. Do it again. Thanks. Appreciate it.
You have a good day.
You too. Bye-bye now. All right, it's 10:47. Lines open for you. 989-752-6111.
Did I miss something?
Well, it's been in the news because there's investigations going on in Washington.
Oh, okay. Now, I'd like to ask a question, Art, and I mean this as sincerely as I can. Now, I hear your callers and you talking about how this hoax was debunked. And could you walk me through, exactly who said it was debunked, or who was there a court finding, or where do you get this understanding of that this was all a hoax?
It goes back to the hearings, the impeachment, all of that. It was all demonstrated. It's been how can I describe it? I mean, it's been torn apart and upside down, inside out by many, many, many. And even the Democrats walked away from it.
But you're saying then, therefore, the conclusion is that somehow, we have historical proof that this was a hoax. We know this as a fact. But I'm not sure. You're saying there's evidence on both sides of this argument. So who gets to decide that, yes, this is the way the truth comes down on this side? Who determines that?
Well, let's put it this way. If it had been true, we wouldn't be talking about President Trump today.
Oh, I'm not sure about that.
Oh, I am. Because if it had been true, even his own party would have abandoned him on that.
Oh, really?
Absolutely.
I'm not sure that's true either.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, after January 6th, they started an impeachment and then they backed down. So I don't have a lot of trust in his party.
Well, see, that's his party doesn't have a lot of trust in yours. So where are we going?
Yeah, the people after January 6th, the Republicans who said that was completely unacceptable, Trump can never hold an office ever again. A few months later, they're saying, no, we're not going to vote guilty on impeachment. So I don't put a lot of faith in them.
They don't put a lot of faith in you either. It's mutual.
Well,
isn't that the problem today in this country? Isn't that the problem today in this country? We don't sit down and talk. We just accuse each other.
Well, I'm trying to talk.
Well, but
I'm trying to talk.
Yeah, but you're telling me you don't trust the other side, and I'm telling you the other side doesn't trust you. So where's the talk going?
I'm saying who decided that this issue was
apparently a lot of people,
finalized, and this is the outcome. Who made that?
Apparently a lot of people. Well, a lot of people. Otherwise, it would have been used.
Well, I don't know, just because there's a hubbub about something, you
Why? Do you believe it? Let me ask you this: do you believe it?
Well, I